I'm going to share some tips for replacing a track light system with H-style track lighting. To remove the old system, turn off the power to the circuit. Use an electrical tester to confirm the power is off. A shock under certain conditions can be deadly. This style power feed has a cover held in place with one screw. Confirm there aren't any live wires in the electrical box. Remove the wires from the hot, neutral, and ground screws. The wiring in this condo is run through metal conduit and it doesn't have a ground wire. The conduit is the ground path. Remove the two screws holding the power feed to the electrical box. Remove all the old lights by twisting them and pulling them out of the tracks. The tracks are held in place with screws, usually 3 per track. There are set screws that need to be loosened on the track connectors. The track should slide out easily, but this one was painted in place, so I had to pry it off. The new power feed has a brass screw for the hot wire, a silver screw for the neutral wire, and a green grounding screw. For this style power feed, the wires pass through the access hole. Connect the hot wire to the brass screw, the neutral wire to the silver screw, and the ground wire to the green screw. The hot wire is usually black, but if you have wires run in conduit, the hot wire can be any color except white or green. White is neutral, green or bare copper is ground. The power feed is mounted to the electrical box with 2 screws. Remove an end cap on the side you'll be sliding into the power feed. Slide the track into the connector arm. H-style tracks have a copper strip on one side for the tab on the hot side of the connector arm, and 2 copper strips on the other side for the neutral and ground tabs. Most H-style tracks will have a groove on the face of the track to identify the neutral and ground side. Keep the tracks connected with the groove on the same side so the polarity is correct and it's grounded for safety. Some tracks have a keyhole slot for easier installation. It allows you to start the track into a connector arm and position a screw into the large opening, then slide the track to the end of the slot so it stays in place. Insert the track into the power feed and position it where you want it on the ceiling, then mark the locations for the screw anchors to hold the track. I marked the shape of the keyhole and I'll put a screw anchor at the small end. Use a drill bit sized for your anchors. I'm using expanding screw anchors for this plaster ceiling. You can also use toggles. Partially tighten in the screw in the anchor for the keyhole to help hold the track. Slide the track into the power feed and catch the screw into the keyhole. Tighten down the screws into the other 2 anchors for the track. Leave the keyhole screw slightly loose so you can put the next connector in easily. If you have conduit without a ground wire, you can test that the system is grounded by turning on the power and testing for 120 volts with a multimeter between the hot screw and the metal box and green screw. If it shows 120 volts, it's grounded. The metal conduit is the ground path. If it shows nothing, it's not grounded. If you have non-metallic cable with a bare ground wire, connect the bare ground wire to the green screw. I tested the first track with a light while the power was on. Turn off the power to the circuit when connecting the rest of the tracks and connectors. This style power feed has a cover that's held in place with one screw. Remove the end cap if you're adding a connector. You can cut a track down with a hacksaw to adjust the length. A high-tension hacksaw makes a straighter, more accurate cut. I cut off one of the screw holes when I shortened the track, so I added a hole so the track is held in place in 3 spots. I'm using a straight connector to extend the first track. One side has single tabs for the hot side, the other side has neutral and ground tabs. I slid the connector in the cut track, Then mark the ceiling for the screw anchors. I screwed in the track and left the end loose to add a 90-degree connector. Some 90-degree L connectors are oriented for a right or left turn. This 90-degree L connector comes out of the box with the neutral and ground tabs on the outside. To reverse the polarity for one track, remove the cover. Rotate the connector arms to reverse the polarity on one side. Replace the cover. For this project, I added one more track.